Good morning, Hobby World. This is Hobby Hotline 154. I'm your pal Val. With me is Logan, John, and Victor. Good morning, gentlemen. Everybody in the chat.
Good morning.
It's Saturday, the end of the week. Get all your card shopping in now.
We actually have a new card shop that opened here in my town, Memphis. So I'm going to go. I haven't been there yet. It opened last week. I haven't been there yet, so I'm going to head there today after the show.
Did you just say Ma Town?
My town, yeah.
Okay. M.A., right?
My town, yeah.
Copy
That's
that.
right.
So how was your last weekend, fellas? It was a pretty big deal for you, huh? The gents up top, the top two rows there.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man.
It was a great weekend, man. It's the greatest weekend in auto racing. We had a good time with the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and the Coke 600. So it was a great day.
From rain delay at Monaco, and then Monaco, and then into the wee night with the Coke 600. So, and then with the Indy 500 kind of squished in the middle.
Well, I tuned into the Monaco Grand Prix just when I guess the red flag came up, and everybody just went back to their pits. They all got out of their cars, had some candy and some snacks, and then does that happen in NASCAR? Do they get out of the car? I guess rain delays, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do.
Seemed like a nice little scheduled break in the middle of a short race over there in Monaco.
Yeah, I didn't realize they have the race clock. So there's a 3-hour window, and they have 2 hours to get it in. So when they hit that clock for 2 hours, it's going to end at that 2 hours. So they hit that. I guess it was before they had started with the rain, and to get it all in. So not. And I guess where I'm going is this. It's a kind of a shorter race there.
Do people bet on races? Car races?
Oh,
They
I'm
sure
sure.
do.
Do they? I've never seen any of that stuff, the odds or whatnot.
My dad's a big Dave Blaney, right? Ryan Blaney fan, so he's always putting a few dollars on Ryan Blaney every week.
Nice.
And then Harrison Burton, he's a long shot, but he's running Wood Brothers, which is they're out of Virginia. So my dad lives in Virginia, so he's supporting the home team.
I'm just curious, is it like an actual like fan duel or like a guy walking around with a pen and paper?
It's a fan duel. It's all
paper bag.
That's the old days. With, oh man, Park. Help me, Logan here. Guy down in Atlanta.
Help him.
Oh man, first team owner, Raymond Parks. Yeah. He did some illegal stuff down in Atlanta, but that was a long time ago.
That's how NASCAR started, though, right?
Yeah, all the bootlegging, and he had some illegal. Yeah, he had some illegal gambling machines. We'll just call them that.
That's the way baseball used to be. If you listen to listening to a great book now called Terrible Beauty about Ty Cobb, and there were teams. Say you're in second place, and the first place team is playing a bunch of scrubs, right? Like the Washington Senators. Like there's a team. The team would get together a pool of money, the second place team, to give to the crappy team to make sure that they showed up on the last day to play and beat like the Yankees or beat the White Sox. It's crazy that how baseball used to be the most. You talk about NASCAR, baseball used to be the most crooked thing ever. Kind of miss those days, to tell you the truth. Like Ty Cobb going in the stands to beat people up, and umpires getting slapped, stuff like that. Maybe we need to bring that back. We shouldn't be shocked. We should encourage that kind of behavior.
Well, I don't know if NASCAR is crooked. These guys were doing some other stuff to generate money so that they can race, right? Because they say how to become a millionaire or make a small fortune in NASCAR. Start with a large fortune.
Right, exactly.
But when we talk about Raymond Park, so they run from Dawsonville down to Atlanta, and there's a great book, Riding with the Devil, I think it is, and they talk about Raymond Parks, and so he would, drive down, and then in the morning before traffic or whatever, he'd park his car, or he'd bring it in, wash all the wheels off and stuff because they're come from the clay, dirt stuff, and just blend in traffic, and then make his runs. deliveries in Atlanta. So, but he made another fortune by buying real estate in Atlanta too. So,
Right. One of the smart ones, right?
yeah. There's also, I guess, rumors that that he lent Bill France some money to cover some race winnings too. So,
Gotcha.
but that was late 40s, early 50s. So,
What do you guys think of the Bubba Wallace documentary? Have you watched that?
I haven't seen it yet.
I started to watch it. I think I got through the first episode. There's, I think I don't know, it was 60 for 60 or whatever on him as well about his first win. I watched that. It just goes into his childhood growing up and his mom and dad, that situation there, and then the win naturally in Talladega. So
It's a little redundant. I think my wife and I were watching it, and my wife. It's interesting. My wife knows nothing about sports yet. She loves Drive to Survive. She loves, she'll watch the Bubba Wallace thing. She liked the Lakers winning time thing, but it could have been done in 2 episodes, I guess. But it seems like the Bubba thing they just drag out episode after episode, which is a shame. But yeah, not everybody is worthy of a 12-part documentary or whatever.
well, as a NASCAR fan or first, sports love of NASCAR, to see all the F1, all the people just pouring in F1 because of the Netflix series.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as a NASCAR guy, I was like, I wish NASCAR would do something like that to bring in the fans into NASCAR.
You had Tom Cruise. What else do you want, Val?
Well, that was a
And
long,
Nicole
long time
Kidman.
ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, and that movie's flawed, but that's one of my favorites, though. Some of the, and some of those things are based off of real life events with Tim Richmond and Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Jeff Bodine, and it's just a combination of stories,
Right.
True stories that into one. I'm waiting for them to make a sequel to that, right? So
With Cruise again, huh? Just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Top Gun.
no, I've got this whole story in my head, and Cruise is out, but
Okay, we believe it. It's like Rocky, right? It just keeps going on and on and on, and
yeah. Well, you have could be Cole Trickle's son,
sure.
Anyway, good morning. I was gonna say good morning, everybody. We're talking here. Good morning, everybody in the comments here. Let's see. 1 Million Cubs is with us. Frank, good morning, Frank. So, and
Victor's here.
yeah, oh,
Victor's
of
officially
course, yeah.
here.
Yep.
Yes.
So you
Car
say
Cave.
his rookie episode here.
His Ricky episode. I had a good friend of mine reach out to me. He heard that I was going to be on Hotline, and he asked me, so what's the deal? Are you going to bring some like Latin spice into it, or what's going on?
That wasn't James, was it?
No.
What do you now? I've got a burning question for you, Victor.
Yeah.
You are the rookie card authority. Obviously, you're the rookie card specialist.
Yeah.
Tell me, you collect. What do you collect? Right? We know rookie cards, but like you build sets. What's your setup?
I'm a set registry guy, and
Okay.
I really like to collect all of the rookie cards of the players who have influenced me throughout my life, and a lot of that. Big Michael Jordan guy, living in the Chicagoland region most of my life.
He's the GOAT, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And Roberto Clemente, just with the influence that Roberto made on my parents, just kind of trickled down to me, of course. And other than that, I do the rookie cards of Hall of Famers, and there's
Baseball
a lot of
or
mainly baseball.
Okay.
There's a lot of set registries, and then I'll get into basketball and football as well. Guys that I liked, Randy Moss, I liked a lot, Peyton Manning. So that's my focus is those type of players that influenced me per se.
what's the Mark McGuire rookie card, if you don't mind me asking?
Man, right out of the bat.
And
Remember, you're under oath.
here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we
Yeah.
could talk about religion. It's up to you, or politics.
Jeez.
Those are your 3 choices.
Yeah, we can go that route too if you want. But I believe the 87
Okay.
years are McGuire's rookie cards. 85 to me is a subset, and I understand that's what the hobby wanted, and I get all of that. But when you're looking at the concept of true rookie card guidelines, the 87 should have been McGuire's rookie cards.
Would a subset of, say, the McGuire and 85, would that supersede like a 3-player card of the same year, or would the 3-player card be the rookie card?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So that subset, that Team USA,
Yeah.
that Team USA subset inside of that 85 tops, say there was a card later in that set in the high numbers, a 3-player rookie card from A's prospects, would that supersede the solo card that was the Team USA card, or which one takes priority there as the rookie card?
A lot of it depends, and what we have to do is really look at what were the rookie card guidelines at the time that card was released.
There were none.
There were. We have certain principles, but they're not always followed, because at the time, it's the hobby was the one that decided.
Yep.
And so the guidelines are there as a guide only. So it depends on where in the set that card lands. If the 3-card prospect A's card landed prior to the 85 McGuire USA team card, then we should consider that one. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. Is my point.
All right, the last question, I promise. Sorry for hijacking this. This is the question I always wanted to ask you, and I kind of teased you a while back about it. 1979, Sammy Stewart had his first card, which was a highlight card from 1978. Most strikeouts by a rookie to start a game or start a career. He had later on in the series a 3-player card, rookie card. That's why I was getting at that, because it was a full solo card for Sammy Stewart. And then he had later on in the set, in the high numbers, he had a 3-player card. So I've always wanted to get your opinion on that. Maybe you can write me a manifest about that.
So you had an agenda behind your question.
I did. I always do, man. That's the 70s. Like, that would be the biggest controversy in the 70s for rookie cards, because nobody cared about rookie cards back then. So
yeah.
But I always wondered, what if Sammy Stewart had been the next Nolan Ryan? What would his rookie card be? That highlight card or that black and white 3-player card? So.
Well, good morning to the Sports Card Shop. I saw Rex in the comments. And then also doing a countdown here, 53 days till the 42nd National Sports Card Show.
Raise your hand if you're going. All right, nice. Wow,
Yeah.
that's not bad, huh?
I always hit the PSA set registry. Luncheon is my.
Oh, you guys are doing plane, trains, and automobiles, aren't you? You and Logan. Yeah, that's
Yes,
right.
we are.
You guys are going up the Appalachian Trail for a couple days, right? Hiking.
I am. I'm
And
going to hike up the Appalachian Trail. That's right. How'd
Uber
you
over
know?
to Charlotte Airport, and you're going to take the people train up to over to Atlantic City, I think, right?
That's the plan.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to meet Val in Charlotte, and then we're going to take the plane from there to Philly, and then, like I said, take the train. That'll be exciting.
Did PSA release the luncheon date already?
I don't know. I've got that question in right now, and I have not got an answer back yet. So
Boy, the product placement's back too. I see on Logan. What a shill.
well, the Chick-fil-A sweet tea is the official sweet tea of Hobby Hotline.
Yeah. And NASCAR radio as well.
So, hey, Victor, I have a question for you. You're talking about the set registry and things. When did you decide, or did you decide to grade your own cards, or did you start buying rookie cards already graded, or how did that come about for you?
Well, I basically when I was prior to me returning to the card collecting, I was just getting into PSA graded cards of Hall of Famers, and that was around the year 2000, 2001. And I was loving the concept back then, but I left the hobby in 2004, and when I returned in 2014, I was kind of looking at, catching up with things and trying to figure out where I wanted to focus my attention, and nothing was really doing it. And then I remembered PSA graded cards Hall of Famers, and I kind of went down that rabbit hole, and I never came back out. So that's kind of how it's evolved. But the seed was planted way back in 2001.
So do you get your own cards graded, or you just buy graded cards, or a little of both?
I do both. Yeah, I do both.
What's
Yeah,
the oldest rookie card you have, if you don't mind me asking?
The oldest one I've got is the Clemente rookie.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. So you were,
55.
as Dr. Beckett would say, you were a Rip Van Winkle for a little while, for 10 years.
Yeah. I had to. I was a car dealer between 1991 and 2004, but it got to the point where I'm working a full-time job Monday through Friday, and then I'm taking off doing card shows, and I'm leaving my wife at home taking care of all the kids, and she's trying to keep up, and I come to a crossroads where I had to like reprioritize my life, because the cards and the card shows was absorbing a lot of my free time. So I took the responsible route and put the hobby down. I was getting really frustrated back then too with the amount of product that was being released, and as a dealer, you're trying to keep up with the amount of product being released, and that was just a nightmare. And I was just a lot of built up frustration when I decided to step down and put it up.
So from 2000, from 2004 to 2014, when you came back, was it a big noticeable difference? I mean, I can imagine that today, if somebody stopped in 2004 and came back today, that would be a huge difference.
Yeah, two really big differences for me was braking. That was pretty popular in 2014. I dove into braking for about a year pretty heavily. But I'll tell you, the biggest thing that was really difficult for me to understand was I fired up the old eBay account again, and I'm shopping for cards for, Francisco Lindor, Chris Bryant as a Cubs fan, Javi Baez, those kind of guys. And I go on eBay and I'm punching up, I'm shopping for rookie cards of these guys, but everything from like 2010 to 2015, all the eBay listings said that they were all rookie cards. And I'm sitting here scratching my head saying, wait a minute, something's changed here. How
Right.
can these guys have 5 years worth of rookie cards? And as I'm digging, I find that some of them have this little RC logo on them. And so that intrigued me, and I started digging into that and finding out, well, what is that all about? And I started digging and doing homework and research on that topic. And one thing just led to another, and it led to countless amount of hours of research trying to understand the rookie card a little better. And that's how it evolved. It's evolved into a website that I started in 2016, where I started to use that platform to record my findings. And it eventually led to a YouTube channel in 2020, where I basically look at the past and present day status, all in an effort to better understand the evolution of the rookie card.
Do you understand it any better now than you did then? I mean, you understand it more than any of the rest of us, but do you understand it?
Do you really understand?
I don't know, man.
That's a good question, man.
Yeah.
Well, my first recollection of rookie cards really was like late 70s. I have to say like 1979, when everybody started jumping on board the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card. And that was, everybody said that's his rookie card, which, I'd like to get your opinion on that as well. But that's the first time I can remember anybody really, talking about and specifying, hey, this is so-and-so's rookie card.
Well, I'll tell you, I set out last year at the National. My goal was to create a video, a documentary per se, as to the origin story of the rookie card. And what I did is I went over to the National, and I wanted to speak to dealers with 50 plus years of seniority under their belt in the hobby. And I posed a question to them. How did the rookie card evolve? And I interviewed about 6 dealers at the National, and all of them, it was unanimous. And I spoke to these guys separately. I didn't speak to them all at the same time. but unanimously they were under the impression that the 54 Hank Aaron rookie card was kind of the start of it all, the starting the excitement of purchasing his cards in bulk per se. And of course, that was around 1975. They feel is when people were really pursuing Hank Aaron. The following year, they were really pursuing Pete Rose,
Mm-hmm.
and so this thing really evolved. And in 1984 is when we had the boom of Don Mattingly per se, kind of triggered that one.
There's a gap in there, though. I recall, as I don't know whether Logan feels the same, or I recall the 1980 Ricky Henderson was a big deal for probably. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he came out before the Mattingly, but it was, to me, that was the first real time rookie card that people cared about as a collector back then, because there was. Mantle, the 52 Mantle is one thing. You couldn't pull that out of a pack, but the Ricky Henderson was a pseudo chase card.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the early '80s for sure. I think before that, I'm not saying he had the impact Mattingly did. Mattingly for certain, it was a big deal, but Ricky Henderson's in there too. I think.
I reckon it as it was in 84. That was the birth,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of a 9-month pregnancy, we had a 9-year pregnancy. From 1975 to 74 is where the rookie card started to,
Right.
little by little, started to gain more momentum and more momentum. And as collectors and dealers were shopping for specific cards,
Yeah.
and it just grew. And they were trying to keep it quiet in the beginning, but it just grew and grew and grew.
Right.
And here we go.
Well, 81 Tops is a sleeper there too, because it was the first traded set. I know we had traded sets in 76 and 74, but they didn't feature rookies. The 81 Tops featured solo cards of rookies and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
that was takes a lot of steps to get there, and that was definitely one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember the Ricky Henderson card in particular. I remember setting up shows during that time, and man, that was the hot card. I mean, even back then, that was like $100 card.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember specifically this one guy came up to my table and he had fanned out all these cards he had, and one of them was a Ricky Henderson rookie. I said, "How much you want for this?" And he said, "I'll take $50 for it." And I said, "Well, okay, I'll buy it." And I remember we were set up at the show, and I told my wife, she set up with us, and I said, "We'll have this card sold for $100 by the end of the day." And it wasn't even maybe an hour, and we had sold that card for $100. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's a question from Canton Card Collector there. I don't know the answer to that, right? But I do know that probably has something to do with national, even though it says National Chickle, probably has something to do with national distribution and stuff like that. Maybe, as Victor will attest, a rookie card needs to be nationally distributed and available essentially to everybody, right?
Yeah. And a lot of it is, it's hard to, historically, what we have done is with the help of Beckett Publications, it's always been whatever the hobby had decided was the rookie card and which one was the most popular, especially when you're dealing with pre-war and vintage. It's kind of been more towards what has the hobby chosen as the best card or the most important card. On the DiMaggio, I have not done any homework on the DiMaggio, so I can't speak
Right.
to with confidence. I typically, pre-war rookie cards are really, really extremely difficult to figure out, only because of, so much of it was regional, so much of it
Right.
was
It was all
odd
fragmented.
distribution, and
Yeah.
it's just really hard to pinpoint those.
Well, I've got a question here. I know we kind of talked about it the Baseball Card Hall of Fame selection. Is that
Yes.
coming up?
Yeah, that actually expired. The ballot closed last night at 11:59, and we are going to be doing the reveal to the selections on Monday. So stay tuned for that Monday at 6 p.m. I think we might do a premiere video on that one. and I'm excited. I don't even know the results yet, to be honest with you. So I'm excited to find out, and here we go.
I've got a guy 5 feet away from me. We're getting ready to celebrate with champagne Monday night. I'm pointing right at him. 1960 Yaz. We can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
You're gonna pop the champagne.
Him and I. He's looking right at me. We're gonna pop the cork on Monday night. Cannot wait. And then we're gonna have a parade.
So Victor, do you have any idea how many people voted?
I don't. So
Are you going to reveal that as well, or is that just
yeah? We'll reveal all that. Yeah.
Yeah, your chief election officer was sitting in box seats at the Phillies game last night watching Bryce Harper, so
he was actually on TV a couple of times.
He wasn't counting votes, that's for sure. Hey, Herman's here. Hopefully,
one question I had for you guys, and then folks in the chat. Where's everybody buying their cards right now? I want to know if has people migrated to other platforms now to buy? I know there's so many options. You know, Victor, you're talking about, the eBay was the platform for many, many years, and naturally ComC's come in play, and now there's Alt and Star Stocks and whatnot. Yeah, so I'm curious to know where everybody's buying their stuff. If they're buying. Maybe no one's buying cards.
I bought 9 cards this morning at a flea market. Tops 72 highs, 1970 highs.
Nice.
Wow, I love 72 tops high numbers. Those are cool looking cards.
Yeah.
With the traded.
I got a Denny McClain traded. That was the last traded that I needed. So down to, I think, 12 cards now.
I haven't purchased anything for a good 6 weeks, only because I'm saving my pennies for the National.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, to be honest with you, I've really been picking up cards at my local card shows. To be honest with you, I just feel like I'm getting better deals there than I am on eBay, which was my primary source. But I found myself getting outbid real frequently, and I was just getting frustrated. And so I was just sticking to card shows in the area. And I found myself getting much better deals locally than on eBay.
I've got an LCS that deals modern, and he buys vintage, and he doesn't know what to do with the vintage. So I'll buy a box. I did a video about it last week. Hobby box, my hobby box, $125, and it came stacked with stuff from the 60s and the 70s. So love those, and some Kiss cards too.
Yes.
Logan, what about you?
Right now, I'm mostly buying off of eBay and ComC. For me being a NASCAR guy, everybody leaves their cards at home.
Yeah, the show's right.
Except in Dallas, though, you did all right in Dallas.
Yeah, I did pretty good at Dallas. Yeah, but when I go to the shows, it's I left them at home.
Yeah.
Or they have plenty of your NASCAR cards, and they hand you an F1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we see that a lot too. Yeah, I've got NASCAR. Here you go, and it's F1 card.
Yeah. So for me, it's been eBay. More ComC than eBay. I can find some good NASCAR deals.
What are you buying, Val? You buying like wax? You buying slabs? You buying commons? What's your deal?
Oh, so I'm buying probably rookie cards for NASCAR drivers. Buying some hockey. Rangers are still in the playoffs, so. But that's
How'd
it.
you become a Rangers fan?
Oh, I'm originally from New York, so.
Okay.
Long time Rangers fan from the late 70s.
You guys that lose your New York accents, you and John Newman, he sounds Canadian. You sound like you're from down yonder. Yet you claim to be from New York. I don't get it.
I've been in the South longer than I lived in New York, so every once in a while, I guess I'll slip up in it and say something.
Right.
But and I'm not buying a lot. Again, kind of save my money for the National, and then there's not probably a lot that I'm looking for. I have a few things that I'm searching for. That with NASCAR, we don't have the availability to stuff like the other sports, right? Because there's a ton of stuff. So there's particular, and one of the things I look for are NASCAR insert sets where autographs and stuff like that. That it's more about the chase and the price. There was a 2008 Trackside Treasuries. They're numbered out of 25, and there's I think 44 of them. So that was one of the sets that I chased for a few years, and then that's on the PSA set registry. So there are a few other sets that I'm chasing that it's more about the chase. They're autographed, numbered to 100, and still looking for some of that stuff. So it's whenever it pops up, I got to pull the trigger on it.
I've got like 6 NASCAR cards.
Hey, you got some.
Yeah, do you want me to tell you what they are? Big reveal here on Hobby
Sure.
Highlight.
72 STP.
John Newman. I know it's not John Newman, but
Yeah. Ryan Newman, huh?
Kurt Busch.
2010 to 2009, I think. Stealth.
I don't know who that is. Everett. M&M's.
Kyle Busch?
Oh, is it? Is it Kyle Busch? It says
like Kyle Busch.
Oh, it says main event. It doesn't say Everett. Yeah, I guess Kyle Busch. And I got 4 of these guys.
2014 American Thunder.
Am I rich? That's what I want to know.
No. First of all, you got NASCAR. So
Okay. That's $150 in a break. It was a NASCAR break. $150.
No, you're looking for 72 STP and then 83 Unos and some other 88 Max and stuff like that.
I saw more NASCAR cards today at the flea market, and I kid you not, than I did baseball cards, other than the baseball card vendor that's there. So it's interesting. I did see a lot of, and of course I have no idea what I'm looking for. I know you just rattled off some things, but I wouldn't remember that either. But it's funny how you see more of that where I am than
Weird.
than baseball cards. Plus, NASCAR had a lot of tie-ins, right? I think there was the die casts and all that stuff. So that probably has something to do with it.
Early 90s, there was just so many tie-ins, McDonald's and all those stuff. And there just was the junk wax era age too. So I think they just stopped printing 91 Max. So there's so much of it.
Same thing with Donruss.
Yeah. So 1 Million Cubs, top 3 places: card shows, card shops, and eBay.
His motives are different, though, as we know, right?
Yeah.
Bo's running an empire. Most of us are trying to avoid buying the same card twice. I have a hard time with that with my 72s and 70s. I keep buying the same cards twice. So, it's.
I think he thinks if he buys all the Cubs, they'll be scarce.
I'm curious as to what Bo buys on eBay. I mean, does he find deals? Obviously, he's probably looking for Cubs for his PC, but I'm curious whether his answer was business related or PC related.
Well, we've got Burbank cards. I guess now he's trying to be Bobank cards.
He's the Bear Banks. Have you seen his bears? He bought like 2 monster boxes, Bear Banks cards by Bo.
Well, hey, Bo, if you want to get rid of some NASCAR cards, let us know. You see it's at the National.
I think he already had. I think he turned it into mulch. He's been doing a lot of gardening.
Oh, I guess, Logan, we need to be going to and getting Goodwill pallets.
There's one in North Texas right now, and there's one in Arizona. The pallets keep getting further and further away from Pennsylvania. I look all the time. So.
How do you even find those things?
I'm not telling you because Bo wouldn't tell me. I had to.
Man.
Bo wouldn't tell me, so now I found my own.
Everybody who's buying pallets of NASCAR, let us know when you guys can combine for another.
I'll do it,
pallet.
man. Absolutely, I'll do it. I'll fill your whole train car up with NASCAR cards if I get some. You can take them down Atlantic City with you.
So it's an industry secret on finding out how you get pallets and where they are.
Bo would not share it. Bo and they're like the pallet mafia. Him and Ken. Somehow these things fall off the back of a truck. It's like prohibition all over again.
You're talking about falling off the back of a truck. I can remember back in I guess this was probably the early to mid '80s. There was a guy, I won't say his name, but he worked for a news company here in town, and he was always coming to the card shows with cases of tops or whatever,
Right.
and they were incredibly cheap. And I would buy them. I mean, they were so cheap you couldn't pass it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to buy them. I mean, cases for like a couple $100. It's like,
Right.
oh my gosh.
It's crazy, huh?
So those things fell off the back of the truck.
Yeah. Well, the way Target delivers product now, all those fall off the back of a truck too. I've seen some Target boxes delivered to people, and it looks like a truck ran over them. Fell off the truck in the middle of a road paving excursion. Target.
Yeah.
I think I've said it before. I hope Target and Walmart, and I know that breaks the heart of some people, but I hope Target and Walmart get choked down on their how much product they get, because I would like to see the LCSs get more, and the other either everybody has them or nobody has them. I don't. Target and Walmart have had their time in the sun. Target doesn't appear to care much about collectors. Walmart probably a little bit more, but
Yeah,
I kind of buy them everywhere.
I kind of like to see the days of having cards back in the convenience stores and going to Bob's Bait Shop and getting cards.
Mm-hmm.
and,
Chick-fil-A,
things like that. I miss
Chick-fil-A
those days.
NASCARs, right? NASCARs.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a great tie-in.
Yeah.
Well, even I take McDonald's, like we talking about, some of the other food or regional issues. You just don't see it anymore.
Yeah. Did Chick-fil-A ever do anything like that? Because they're based in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Imagine it's race day on Sunday and every Chick-fil-A is closed. And then the next day, Monday, is like product release day, or you know what I mean? The anticipation would be crazy that Chick-fil-A gives away a pack for every something next on Monday. Not that they need any more business, right? They're busy enough, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, our Chick-fil-A causes accidents. The cars are all the way out in the street.
Yeah.
We're running into each other. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's an exercise in traffic management, what they have going on out there, the cones and the tents and all that. I mean, In-N-Out does that. I know none of us are in In-N-Out territory, but In-N-Out has always done that, have people out with iPads or tablets taking orders in the line, because it takes so long to get through the line. So, Chick-fil-A.
They're super efficient. We need them running the distribution for cars.
Yeah, true. We got some distribution topics we want to talk about, or at least one.
Well, I know we talked about it. There's a rumor that they're going to cut distribution to I don't know who, but I always thought that was the kind of the problem during the pandemic, and when these distributors basically could raise the prices to whatever they wanted, or they control the supply. So when things went from $100 a box to $1,000 a box, it wasn't Panini or Topps making that change. It was distributors.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, right? They're reacting to last year's market, and we're seeing more stuff on the shelf, right? I mean, we meaning as a hobby, not me, because I haven't looked myself, but other than Upper Deck Hockey, it seems like there's other stuff on the shelf now, and so I guess everybody's anticipating bargain bin prices now soon too, which is a shame, because that's stuff that could be distributed properly in the proper channels in a more, maybe the base, Top Series 1 and Series 2 is in every store, and then you have the more boutique stuff in other places. But you're right, we need to have cards everywhere, I think, again, because that's what made the hobby great before the junk wax era, is going into any deli or convenience store and buying Topps, and then Topps, Fleer, and Donruss, and that's missing. Get it out there, get it everywhere. Not at the hat stores, not at the big boxes. Get them everywhere. And Logan, when you took your last sip, you covered up the logo. I just got word.
Oh,
So just be careful.
I think the old pricing model was, you increase your prices up. And I think now it's, okay, we're just going to reverse that. We're just going to put a high price on it. We're going to come down.
Yeah.
Because I can't, replace my stock. I only have so much to sell, and I want to sell it for the highest price. So I mean, I saw that with the F1. With tops would come out at like 700, and then the other market, everybody's at 1400, and then we're going to come down.
It's FOMO, right? Everybody. I mean, they're playing and hoping that people buy because it's there and it's available, and thinking I'll never be able to get this again. Well,
yeah, Jeff had a good tweet. I am Defessus about buying stuff as soon as it comes out, and then kind of be wait and have patience. And I retweeted her that FOMO is very expensive.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just think the ethical issue is the price gouging that's happening at the distribution levels, and I think that's where I think Fanatics is going to want to curve that or bring a little bit of that to their side, and they more than likely feel like they're leaving money on the table. So, what's going to happen is going to be very, very interesting, and I just think, they're more than likely going to be after modern card shops a little bit more, but they're going to probably want card shops that are modern. They're going to be well branded on social media, that sort of thing. Those are the card shops I think they're going to be really looking for and giving them all the allocation they need to be successful. And some of these mom and pop shops that have fallen behind the times, I think that's where they're going to get hit the hardest, in my opinion, anyways.
No, I think that's a great point. I mean, you have the different models where you have, and we've all been into those shops. You go in there, the store owner doesn't say a word to you, and they're out there, they're watching the ball game, they're looking at the paper, they've got their older wax or whatever, or maybe some of the newer stuff, and then you have the other ones where they are modern. They're changing. The card shop that we have by us, they've always changed with the times, and they're still in business. So
yeah, and there's rumors going around that Fanatics is going to cut distribution by 50%. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if it's fake news or if there's a reliable source. If somebody in the chat may know, maybe they can share a reliable source to that rumor. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, here we go. Time for some changes.
There was we talk about the middleman, right? The distributors. There was actually the pandemic spawned a second set of distributors, which were the people that would come in and buy and sell to an LCS, right? So we think that part's gone, right? That step is gone. But in the vacuum, that step, the speculator / secondary distributors that would buy at Target and walk it over to the LCS, that void has been filled by the original distributors by jacking the prices up. So it's still there. It's just, as we know, they're trying to get the secondary market is very difficult for manufacturers and distributors to break into, and I think they'll never be able to, because we do on our end, by the time it gets to us and resales and eBay and ComC and all that stuff, they'll never be able to get a piece of that. They make new cards. That's all they can do. They can't resell us the old cards unless they buy old cards from collectors or dealers. So yeah, it's just another step. It's just another step. They found a way to get rid of those, distributors, the B distributors, which were the speculators, and they took that piece for themselves.
So there were a lot of folks that came into the hobby during the pandemic from other places, sneakers, wherever. So curious to see if they're still here or if they've left and gone to another, Funkos, whatever it is, Pokemon.
Bored Ape.
What's that?
Bored Apes, or whatever the heck they're called.
NFTs and that kind of stuff. And then also, kind of like with the distribution we're talking about, they've got all the Fanatics lids shops and stuff like that then that they have access to put product out. So we'll see.
Talking about lids, I mean, I know there for a little while everybody was talking about, lids is going to get cards, but I haven't really heard anybody talk about, hey, I found all these cool cards at lids. I mean, has that kind of died down, or did that never happen? I mean,
yeah, it's weird.
Here.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, they have them at Wawa, which is a super regional store here in the Philadelphia area and other places, North Jersey, Florida. But they haven't made, maybe I haven't heard of them making their way into lids either. So it's interesting that they've made their way to alternative places, such as a Wawa, where I used to buy cards when I was 10 years old in the 70s, but they haven't made it into their own stores. That is interesting, for sure.
Yeah, I stopped at a lids. I guess it's probably been a month ago. And I asked the people there, they go, yeah, we got an email saying to expect some cards, but that's all we know. I said, okay. So I haven't been back since. I may try, if I'm close to one today, I may stop in and see what's going on.
What do you think they're going to, I mean, because there's so many different sets, right, that they can be selling. What do you think would make it in the lids? They can't carry everything. They can't carry Gypsy Queen, can they? And Heritage. And you think they're going to have them all, a big variety? Because their stores aren't that big, right?
No, the stores are very small. I would think that they're going to, carry more like flagship brand hobby boxes would be my guess.
Yeah.
I went to rumors of F1 possibly being there, but I haven't heard anything since the initial excitement of, Lids is going to be getting cards.
Right.
I went to a Cubs White Sox game last weekend, and their gift shops were loaded with Top Series 1 and Heritage. In abundance.
How about compared to last year, Victor? Was that the same as last year? I know 20 and 21 were outliers, but had they previously carried cards before they had bought Tops? The Fanatic shops?
Oh, the Fanatic shops, that I'm not sure of.
Okay.
I was at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, their gift shop, and they didn't have any cards. No Donruss, no nothing. Yeah, no. They never have. I've seen it one time where they had some Donruss, I guess it was a few years ago, but they hardly had any die casts and no cards at all. But
that's in Charlotte? Is that Charlotte? Okay.
Yeah.
But they've got Funko Pops.
I think they had an advertisement for it, for the Funko. I looked for them. I don't think I saw them.
Who owns Funko?
When was it? Year
That's
before.
a great question.
They had tons of them.
I don't know who owns Funko, but I need to find out.
Yeah, they're sitting on a gold mine, aren't they?
Because they've started doing NASCAR. They actually have Dale Sr. and Chase Elliott, and some of the other drivers. I think Bubba Wallace has.
Did they have cards? Did they include cards in those? I know there
I don't
are
think
some
so.
issues. No, okay.
I'd love to see that, but
that'd be neat.
Yeah.
That takes up a lot of room, man. Cards take up enough room. I can't imagine being a Funko freaky deek and having to store all that stuff, right?
Well, that's one of the things why I try to stay away from diecast.
Mm-hmm.
The diecast collectors, when they're trying to get autographs, the most clear thing I saw was a pegboard with 10 diecast zip tied to it.
Yeah.
And with a handle, and they walk around like a suitcase with
That's
all
funny.
these diecasts, and then put them up there. Yeah. But they're $100 a piece or whatever. So.
When's the last time you guys attended a race?
Oh, was it
Don't
last
roll your
year?
eyes at me, sir.
Mine was almost a year ago, the Nashville race, which I'm going to be going back to again here at the end of the month. So,
how about you, Victor?
Yeah, Victor. When was the last time you attended a race?
Maybe a three-legged race.
Well, if you go, you'll be a fan for life. So
there you go.
It didn't work for me, Victor, but I had my NASCAR vax and my booster shots. So
what race did you go to? What race did you go to?
I went to the Brickyard 400, probably 2006. I was working in. I was doing a job in Indiana, and somebody thought it'd be a great idea to go, and why not, right? But yeah,
I got you. It didn't take. I got you.
And
yeah, it didn't take.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts are the last race I've been to.
You didn't go down to the,
I think the evidence speaks for itself, Your Honor.
you didn't go down to the pits or the garage or anything like that.
No, you know what? I went to a race in 1990. I guess it would have been an Indy race in Denver. We had pit passes, all that stuff. I was working for a band, and Michael Andretti, I guess, was a fan of the band, so he came to the show, and then we went to, or we came to see them in the pits, and then he came to the show the next night. But that's I haven't caught I haven't caught the bug yet. I'm probably safe at this point. But I think that doesn't mean I don't like. There's a lot of things I don't watch, but it's. I can't tell people not to watch NASCAR because it's has a huge fan base. So.
I was gonna say I haven't been to a race, I guess, in a while, but I was at the NASCAR Hall of Fame for the NASCAR Hall of Fame selection, and then they had an autograph session a few weeks. I guess it was 2 weeks. No, it was last Saturday. Kurt Shepardine was there signing.
How often do they do that, Val?
Well, they do the selection, and then the I guess reveal or whatever. That's in May, and then a few weeks later they have the thing, and then they have the autograph session, and they usually try to get all the inductees at one time. But Matt Kenseth was out of town. Red Farmer was not in town. Herschel McGriff.
Matt Kenseth is in the Hall of Fame?
Yep.
How old is he? He's not that old, is he?
He's not. He won the championship, I think it was 2003, 2004. So he's a Cup champion as well as, quite a few wins as well.
And you don't have to be retired, obviously, right?
You have to be out of the sport. You have to be over a certain age and then out of the sport for 5 years.
As a driver, I guess.
As a driver, right?
I got you.
And then if something happened and it passed away or whatever, there's other circumstances where
sure
if you weren't in the sport, you have to be in the sport so long too. I think it's 10 years or something, but sometimes they waive that if there's mitigating circumstances.
Did Alan Kowicki, is he in the Hall of Fame?
Gotcha. Yes.
And was he waived or was he appropriate amount of time pass?
88 to 92.
Was that long ago? Oh.
No, what I'm saying is when he passed away, it was like 94. So I don't.
Okay.
It might have been same thing with Davey Allison.
Okay. You're pretty impressed that I pulled this out of my butt, aren't you?
I'm real impressed. I'm real impressed.
And look, no Googling. My hands are.
So you get your foot down here.
Yeah. Got an earpiece.
Let's see. I missed some comments. I had the wrong thing.
Bo made me laugh, and I apologize, but I laughed right in the middle of what Bo said at 11:51 a.m. So Bo's also immune. There are a lot of tracks near me. It's funny because you wouldn't think it, but a lot of dirt tracks and stuff like that. That's what people do on a Friday and a Saturday night. I mean, that's their thing. But just like some people go golfing on Saturday, right? It's that's their lifestyle. Living for the weekend means getting the trailer out and taking the car up to the track.
Well, NASCAR started. It was a party that whole weekend. So, and then Bo, yeah, that 91 is a good one. That's was it Arco? I think Logan,
something like that. Yes,
where he's kneeling next to his car. Yeah, that predates his first pack issue card. So
you just we had on Dr. Jim's podcast this week. I'm sure Logan's been listening as well because he was there at the content creators dinner. But I mentioned that very thing. You're not supposed to tell people. You're not supposed. There was a question about ethics, right? So you just told Bo that he's got a great card, and then he's probably going to try to sell it to you. You should have told him it was junk wax, and then you just jack the price up on something you may want to buy.
Oh, I wouldn't want to buy it. I got a few.
There you go. And
I've actually had Matt autograph some. So, I do the rookie cards and I do the rookie autographs as well. So,
gotcha.
Is the rookie card easy to identify in NASCAR? Is it?
Victor, you have enough on your plate, dude.
I was going to say, you do not even want to go to NASCAR with rookie cards. So we've been going kind of just their first NASCAR is their rookie. But so Press Pass and their other ones, they would have his first card and then his first Cup rookie card. So they would be RC and then a CRC. So it's really good. And then
I'm sorry I asked.
Yeah, well, then Panini now, they put the RC logo on whenever they're rookie in that league. So if Haley Deegan has it in ARCA, she has a rookie card when she's in truck. So she's got RCs for multiple years. So
Wow, that's
How far
interesting.
back do they go? I mean, we're talking these kids are peewees when they're driving. How far back? You know, you're talking about Bo likes his Bowman U and with NILs now. How far back do these guys go with these sets? Do you think? I mean, how young are they? What's the youngest
um,
level?
ARCA is for right now is the current, but Harrison Burton was in when he was like in midgets, and then
Midgets.
um, so that was 2012. What was he like 10 or whatever,
Wow,
11?
that's crazy.
And then he won. Chase Elliott was on the card when he was 3 or 4. So
Well, is Chase Elliott? Is he Bill Elliott's son?
yes,
And he
and
wasn't on his dad's card. He was on his own card for his own.
well, he was on his dad's card, pictured sitting in his dad's car,
Okay.
and press pass. They were watching. They're from the future, whatever. But on that '97 card, it asked if Chase Elliott was the next generation Cup champion or something
Sure.
like that, and they got it right because he won the championship 2 years ago in 20.
Yeah, they're it's the Simpsons all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a '97 press pass where
Yeah.
Chase Elliott's sitting in his dad's car, and they mentioned it. They mentioned about him being a future Cup champion.
How many cars are in the normal series for NASCAR? Because there's only what 20. I guess there's 40 drivers or something, right? I'm thinking F1's only got 20 drivers.
So it's about 100 cards set, and then Donruss is about 200.
So what do? They do a car card. They do a driver card. They do trophy cards from races. Is that typically?
They'll do drivers from truck, the drivers from Xfinity as well as Cup.
Oh.
In Donruss, they have the retro. So this year they have their regular card, and then they have an '81 Donruss retro.
Okay.
And so, in card 100, whatever will be the retro.
J Sut card. Do you see that question?
Which one?
J Sut card. JSUT.
Oh. Good drivers pre-war era.
Assuming rookie card. I don't know what he meant.
I think what was it? The Turkey Red, and what's it? The Logan.
Yeah, the
Some of the earlier-
T36.
Yeah,
The T36 where they got Louis Chevrolet, and there's a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers that, of course, a lot of people haven't heard of. But there
Were
are
they photo cards or were they painted? The cards like from back then. When's the
they
first?
they look like they're painted.
Okay.
They're not photo cards.
Kind of
They're
like the
painted.
Gaudis and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if I've got any of those T36.
I've seen some from Bo with the Indy stuff, I think, or maybe it was the Daytona stuff from the beach, but it had the engineer in the car, right, which is crazy. 2 people in
Yep.
the car and stuff like that, which is
Yeah, there's several of
wild
those
stuff.
T36 like that. They have the mechanic or whatever in the car. I think I've got some somewhere sitting here.
what's that guy doing during the race? Do you think?
Here you go. Here's one for you.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Love it.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
he's got it runs out and cranks the front.
yeah, but is
Yeah.
he doesn't run around there with the he's not in the car with the driver, right?
No, he is.
He is.
Back then they had the mechanic running with the driver.
I'm thinking Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone, and they both have to put their feet down to brake, right? Is that why 4 feet are better than 2 feet?
Well, what was that race that Ford was driving that kind of cemented his name as car builder? The average speed was like nothing. You could have walked that race and beat it. But
That does not sound like a NASCAR name that just popped up on the screen. Tazio Nuvolari. I doubt that he was in NASCAR, right?
No, he was not in NASCAR.
Gotcha.
He's going to be, I think, he's pre-war. He's probably 20s, 30s, I believe, if I remember correctly. I think he's in the what set is that? The Kings of Speed, maybe.
Okay.
In
And
that-
what would that have been? When did all this fragment, do you think? We went from NASCAR. NASCAR kind of stayed, in theory, stock car, right? And we went to open cockpit racing. It seems like way back in the 30s, maybe all the cars were a lot more similar, right?
Yeah, they were. I mean, you had mostly open cockpit cars back then. I mean, when they were racing, those cars were specially built to race, but they were open cockpit.
So it was basically a sport for the mega rich racing, and then
Okay.
NASCAR was kind of more of the everyman type, with your car, come on down and compete, which is not necessarily true because it had to be modified a little bit to strengthen some stuff. And there's actually, I guess it was in '55, there's a book basically of how to take your stock car and turn it into racing
Okay.
for NASCAR. But there are different racing sanctions. Was AAA was a racing sanction, and then you had all these other different leagues, and then NASCAR kind of formed when AAA stopped promoting car races, because actually I think did some stock as well, but there were people that were dying at the races, so like how can you promote these races and folks dying at these races? So they stopped sanctioning races, but originally racing was for the mega rich.
See,
But
I
what
find
about the
this,
sprint car? Oh, I'm sorry, Victor. Go ahead.
I find this interesting, and I'm wondering, you're teaching a little bit now to somebody who doesn't really know. Are these topics that you tackle on your podcast, or kind of the history of NASCAR and how it's evolved and the cards and all that?
Sometimes we sprinkle in, I guess, a little bit of that kind of history of NASCAR. We've been, so we talk about it a little bit, but
Most of your audience already knows this stuff. Victor and I obviously don't.
Right.
But most of your audience, I would imagine, would know this, right?
right.
Yeah.
And then, but there might be we tell some stories that we've either heard from NASCAR Hall of Fame or some of the books and stuff we read. Like we were talking about Dawsonville and Raymond Parks coming down and washing off his wheels and stuff, and
Right.
to blend in to make his runs and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating because, like I was gonna say, you have sprint cars, which is where I think is that not where most of these guys start? Those cars with the big spoilers on the back and all that stuff, dirt track stuff, and they eventually decide, and it's not that far off of what they do over in Europe, even though they're not on dirt tracks, they're on, asphalt, but they're still driving small cars with big old spoilers on them, or go-karts. They all started in the same spot, and they just shoot off into different disciplines, which is cool.
There's a lot of different leagues or down below, right? Because there's the Legends, which is the smaller cars. There's the Sprints. There's the Wing Modifieds. There's just look. What am I missing?
Well, you've got go-karts. I mean, there's so many different levels, and I mean, like you said, you can run on dirt, you can run on asphalt. It's like you said, John. Once they get their footing, they decide, hey, I like driving the stock cars, or I like driving the Formula One or Indy or whatever.
Right.
And some guys stay in their different leagues. Dick Trickle came to mind where he was running, I guess, short tracks and stuff like that, not out of NASCAR. When he joined NASCAR, he was like 47 years old and was Rookie of the Year. And then Richie Evans, he was in the modified league and won, I don't know how many, 600 races or whatever. He's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, but he, never went to truck or Xfinity or Cup, but he was in that modified division. So NASCAR, it's kind of like with NASCAR is over all these divisions, and it would be like baseball over all of these other, I guess, baseball, softball,
right.
Any of that stuff.
Cape Cod League or whatever, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more educated now. I appreciate that.
Well, sorry, that's not what
it's all about learning. No, I'm serious. I'm curious. I'll ask questions all day long.
This is the most NASCAR heavy episode I think I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Well, here, I'll change that real quick. I was going through my stack. Here you go, John. Here's a card for you.
Oh, look at that. Peter Edward Rose.
Beautiful.
Shea Stadium.
This was one of my favorite cards when I was a kid.
What is that, an 8?
I think it was 6.
Oh, I thought
Yes,
it said
6.
Okay. Wow.
It looks nice.
Awesome.
I mean, I love those black borders. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Beautiful.
It's tough set for sure. Yeah. Butte.
Well, I know we're over on time.
When are we going to talk about the hobby again? Did we talk about the hobby at all today?
Yeah, we did. I think we did.
Good.
I just want to know if everybody's going to rush out and buy their $1,600 box of 2021 Prism football.
No. I'll buy somebody's Castaways for $20. I'll buy 1,000 of the
go.
Castaways for $20 in a couple weeks.
There you go.
So what does that make singles? Does that make singles $1 a piece or 50 cents a piece,
No,
or are they
less than
$5 a
that,
piece?
right?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I mean, I see that with, some of these other sports. Like let somebody else take the high risk, high reward.
Right. And it's a shame because it's again, the hobby's big enough for all of us, but that's a different ocean than the one I swim in, and it's, I don't know. They're not, to me. That's not really collecting. That's obviously gambling, right? Because you're looking for the big hit and you're willing to risk it. But not that that's right or wrong, but it's really not collecting. It's part of the hobby, but it's not collecting as far as I'm concerned, or as I see it. There's collectors in the hobby. There's investors. There's dealers. There's all sorts of people. I'm a collector, and that's not a collecting thing.
Yeah, that's way out of my lane. That's the Autobahn, and I'm just driving on the back roads. That thing is way far ahead of me.
Yeah, as a NASCAR guy, there's no way I can do a lot with $1,600 in NASCAR.
Yeah, we're surrounded. I mean, the four of us, we're surrounded by cards, right? I'm surrounded by cards. I see Victor surrounded by cards. I can only imagine what you guys have. That's what we're all about. And most people that listen to this show are probably in the same boat. They're not, 14 card PC collectors, and that's it, right? My Pelican case, I have a Pelican case right over there. It's got tools in it. It's not. It doesn't have tools attached to it. So I do have a Pelican, but it's for other stuff. But to each their own.
No, I mean, everybody collects the way they want to collect. I'm never going to tell anybody how to collect. I don't want anybody to tell me how I should collect.
Yeah, but that $1,600 a pop, that's not geared towards collectors. Because what were we talking about in the in the chat was the Mac Jones 1 of 1, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
for like 10K or something, or
Mac Jones could be the next Mitch Trubisky. We don't know, right? So why is that card any different than Homie the Clown's card, 1 of 1, right? It's not. It's just a pure sell high kind of thing. You're not going to buy low. You're not going to be, maybe $1,600 a case is buying low if you get a $101,000 card, but how many times is that going to happen?
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. I mean, for example, the what was it? Is it 2021 Formula One Dynasty, or is it 2020, Val? I don't remember. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, the F1 Dynasty cards are going for like $4,500 a box. A guy bought one the other day, opened it up. It wasn't even a driver. It was a team principal. The car he ended up selling the card on eBay for like $250.
Who was the team principal? Because I like those guys better than the drivers.
I don't remember.
Okay, they're my favorite, the principals. But
yeah, that was like actually 2021. But yeah, to the point though, high risk, high reward, scratch up. My only concern is that, and I'm hoping folks know what they're getting at, is that I want people to come in the hobby, and I want them to stay in the hobby, and I want them to enjoy the hobby. And I'm afraid, people get burned a few times that they leave. So.
But these companies need to define who they're trying to market to, because if Fanatics wants to 10x, what do they want to 10x? The collector or the speculator? They have to decide that, because the hobby, again, as we just said, is all encompassing. But the collector's different than the speculator, and it's different than the dealer. So, what's that 10x, or what are they? Of course, they want to sell as much product as possible for top dollar, but eventually people will turn away from that, just like they did sneakers. I'm not saying sneakers are in the crapper, but sneakers aren't what they were 5-10 years ago. So,
yep.
What they have to figure out what they want to 10x. Do they want to 10x the speculators or the collectors that are here for the long run?
In a sense, I feel like I'm getting the feeling that I did back in 2003, 2004, which I, at that time I felt like the industry was was navigating towards those with deep pockets, and like they were making the hobby into a hobby for those who were well off, and the little guy kind of like got left behind, and I'm not saying that's what they're doing now, but in a sense I feel that way sometimes because I'm just about priced out of just about everything. And who can, what's the percentage? I'm interested in knowing what's the percentage of collectors that can actually afford a $1,600 box of Prism. And
Breakers, I guess, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Great. Well, to buy it and open it. Some people buy it, I guess, to sit on, whatever. But I guess you can't do that either because of redemption. So,
Yeah, Bo's one of those guys that makes his living selling cards on the internet. I'm curious as to whether, Bo is going to take that risk. Probably not, I would think. If I know Bo, probably not.
I think Bo is going to start a online course for pallet purchasing. It's going to be an investor course.
yeah, there you go.
Starting $999 for
Yeah.
a 6-week course.
He'll charge you $999 to buy a $400 pallet. And, yeah,
He's also going to give you a set of Ginzu knives.
yeah.
Only if you act now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you buy two, you'll get free shipping on the second one.
Yeah. Pick up in Bo's basement. That's where you got to come get the cards, the ones he doesn't want.
But hey, I agree with you, Victor. I feel like even though, I'm not collecting the high dollar stuff. I'm collecting because I love it, but I still feel like, I'm getting priced out of a lot of things. I would like to collect Formula One, honestly. I like Formula One, but I'm priced out of it. I can't buy it.
So why do you want Formula One, Logan? Tell me why you want to buy Formula One.
I'll tell
What's
you
your number one
exactly
reason?
I have a lot of sets in the PSA set registry that I could start. I would like to get cards graded and create those sets.
Okay. But what about, there's a lot of Formula One cards. It's not just Formula One from the last couple of years. Can you not go back and farm? Essentially what I do is I go buy stuff from the 50s and the 60s and almost done my 70s. I still buy a lot of 70s stuff, oddball stuff. Like, there's so much out there, is there not, to put your money in the secondary market instead of the primary market or the new market?
Well, luckily I have in the past put my money in the secondary market, but now everybody's discovered that, and something like, for example, the 90, I think it's the 92 grid cards for Formula One. You could buy those sets 2 years ago all day long for $5-10 a set.
Mm-hmm.
You can't touch one now for 200.
Is that Schumacher in? Is that why?
It's Schumacher rookie. Yeah,
Okay.
Schumacher's in there, Senna's in there, those guys. Luckily I had bought those and just kind of put them away, and I actually took some of them and got them graded before everybody else discovered it. But I would like, all the secondary market stuff now is shot up exorbitantly. Things like the Senna and Prost rookies from the Panini stickers have gone through the roof. Stuff that you could have picked up 2 years ago at a reasonable price is now unreasonable.
Right.
Exactly.
I just my cure or my antidote for the modern dilemma is just to keep going back and back and back. So
Exactly.
if you're a collector, it seems like you'd be able to get some of. There's I'm sure a lot of European based sets other than the Panini one that like I have a Vennerlandis set that has all sports in it, and there's some Formula One drivers in there from back in the day, I believe. So stuff
I like
out there.
that set.
Yeah.
It's got Mario Andretti in there. That's a cool
Like,
card.
a character one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got Ali and Pele. That's what drew me to it. But it's got some great athletes in there.
Lee Petty.
No,
No
no,
Petty.
Lee Petty.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only Americans in there are probably Ali and Chris Everett, maybe, because she was married to John Lloyd, the English tennis player. So I think that's Mario considered American. I guess so, huh? He was born in Italy, I think, right?
I think so.
Grew up in Nazareth, PA, or that's where they ended up, Nazareth, PA.
Yep, sure did. How far away is that from you?
Nazareth is above Allentown on your map, or above Bethlehem. So that's probably about an hour, hour and a half. I'm probably 45 minutes from Allentown. Also, I think that's the home of Martin Guitars.
Yeah, and the boss wrote a song about that too.
Did he?
Oh no, no, that was Billy Joel. Sorry.
Okay, Allentown.
Yeah.
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 I don't know why I was thinking Bruce Springsteen.
Boss wrote a song about Atlantic City.
He did.
And that's somebody's got to play that as part of their intro from leading up to the National.
Hey, John, I wanted to ask you before, now that you're talking about the National in Atlantic City, what is the best route flying from or driving from Philadelphia Airport to the National? How many routes are there?
Straight shot, bro.
Straight shot.
95 north. Yeah, 94th out of the airport, 95 north out of the airport, and then you take the Walt Whitman Bridge, and 42 east takes you right there. That's kind of a big road that goes to a smaller toll road, the Atlantic City Expressway, but it's a straight shot. It's 55 miles, man.
Construction season, I'm assuming?
No. Now, when are you coming in? Here's the problem. Atlantic City, as I've said on several podcasts and shows, is its own is its own creature, right? So Friday night, people are heading down. It's a zoo. Saturday is when the rental properties turn over. People rent from Saturday to Saturday throughout the shore region. So Saturday's a zoo, people going down. And then Sunday night's a zoo for people that have weekend spots or whatever coming back. So you just got to be careful. Friday to Sunday is kind of mayhem getting down there and back.
Gotcha.
If you're coming from the airport, though, the train probably be the better way to go.
Helicopter. Get a helicopter, man. Gotta go like a boss. You're a train guy, aren't you, Victor? Can't you just borrow one of the company trains? Company cars, company trains. Who cares, man?
I don't think it works that easy.
I applaud you guys for taking a train because that's something I've never done. But you could take the train to 30th Street Station. I think that's what you guys do, and then right from the airport to 30th Street, and then 30th Street to AC, I assume, right? New Jersey Transit.
Yeah, right there at the convention center.
Yeah. Where are you guys staying?
The Hobby Hotline house.
I'll copy that.
Yep, we're going to be at the Hobby Hotline frat house.
I hope there's frat house. Hope there's bars on your windows, guys.
I think John got a house on the beach.
You John Newman? You with John Newman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And Mrs. Newman? Is he
Yeah.
bringing a dog? He should bring the dog.
He should bring the dog.
I don't know, not going to be there long, so I mean,
Okay.
we never sleep, so we'll be at
Well, keep in mind that essentially it doesn't matter where you have the National, right? Because it's about the people, as we know, but it truly is about the people. And you guys, I mean, there's cards at every show you go to. It's going to be fun to see all the cards and the variety, but it's going to be fun to do that with your friends. So it really doesn't matter where you have it. You can have it in the middle of the desert, just as long as everybody has a place to sleep, eat, and drink, and buy cards. So don't be afraid of Atlantic City, getting there and all that stuff, because that's not what it's not the locale. That's the destination. It's the actual show. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to make it myself. I didn't raise my hand. I'm going to try to make it myself, but I'm scheduled to be way out of town for about a month, pretty much the month of July. So hope to get back in time.
Aren't you supposed to have COVID that week?
Well, week, dude. I'll be over in if it goes according to plan, I'll be over in England starting on the 3rd of July and getting back on the 26th. So hopefully I still have time to get back, hit the show.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
It's not.
The most
you'll bet it
interesting man in
probably
the
is.
hobby.
I'll be buying a boatload of Enterlandis cards and whatever else I can find over there. I can't wait to try to turn some stones over in England and see what's over there. Some oddball stuff.
You
Yeah,
bring
there's a
back
lot of-
Top Trumps sets.
What's that?
Topps Trumps Formula One.
Okay. have to look out for that though.
We'll have to. I'll ping you some stuff.
Yeah, had to be fun. Be a good time.
Yeah, there's a lot of pre-war cigarette cards over there too. A lot.
And I'm hoping nobody cares, right? Like it seems like you can't go to a place in the States, an antique place or flea market, where at least they aren't semi-educated. Hopefully over there, they're just things that are in the corner collecting dust, and they're willing to part with fairly cheaply, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
All right, guys. I know we're way over. If you guys want
we
to,
started? I didn't even see the line. I thought we were still on pre-show. My apologies.
if you want to give a shout out where folks can find you.
England.
Okay.
Victor, you go first because you have more to say. Seriously.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, Victor, the Rookie Card Specialist. I am also on Apple Podcast and Anchor. And I have a website, truerookiecards.com, and on any social media platform at true_RCS.
Nice.
Cool.
John?
Well, I guess I'll go.
Good.
Yeah. King NASCAR. I'm King NASCAR on Twitter, Instagram.
Chick-fil-A.
And
Chick-fil-A.
and
Chick-fil-A.
subliminally Chick-fil-A. And you can also find me along with Val and Jason on NASCAR Radio, which we have new episodes that drop like really late Thursday night, but I usually call it Friday because I need to retweet, by the way. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is either Logan Ward or King NASCAR. You can find it both ways. And I do box breaks and weird stuff. So check that out.
Nice. That 70s card show. That's all.
And then at NASCAR Radio on all the socials, cover NASCAR, IndyCar, and Formula One. So, like I said, podcast drops. And we're also broadcasting on YouTube video of the podcast. So, but I didn't even look to see who was on next week. But if Tuesday, Hobby Hotline right here. 9 p.m. There'll be a new set of folks. And have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you on Tuesday.